And now we welcome back our dear friend and a great presenter, David Schroeder, who is a clinical and spiritual social worker and professional life coach. He has 30 years experience in the human development fields. In his private practice, Transition Pathways, David offers a variety of techniques to assist individuals, couples, and groups in finding healthy pathways to love, higher awareness, and greater potential. He conducts workshops and retreats on topics such as just be love, the soul's journey, spirituality and self-esteem, the path to conscious relationship, and the power of being. David is also author of a book, Just Be Love, Messages on the Spiritual and Human Journey. Today, his topic is love and joy, and to freely extend love to yourself and to another is to experience joy, David says. This program will offer information and understanding of the connection of love and joy. Ways to cultivate more love and joy in your life will be highlighted, including a short channel message from Yeshua on this topic today.
Good evening again, all. Glad to be here. Thank you for allowing us to share some insights and wisdom, both from Hamid Bey as well as my own journey. Tonight's topic is love and joy, and I'd like to start out with a channeled message I received a number of years ago from Yeshua on this very topic of love and joy. So if you would like to close your eyes and just take in the words of our brother Yeshua. My dear one, love is the strongest and most powerful energy in the universe. Next to love is joy. Love is simply who you are. Joy is what blooms when you free yourself from needing to be somebody other than who you are. Where there is love, there is joy. Where there is joy, love is there too. Joy walks with love because love includes joy. Joy is simply the reflection and the expression of love. To just be love is to experience joy. Joy is knowing and living this divine truth. Let yourself practice this truth daily with understanding, acceptance, and compassion. Observe yourself as love, walking and living with joy. Love and joy are your true divine nature. Pleasure is the delight and fulfillment of the body and mind. Joy is the natural state of the spirit and the delight and fulfillment of the soul. Joy arises when the mind can freely love and accept itself. Being in fear, doubt, guilt, or shame separates you from divine love, self-love, and joy. Being needy creates expectations that lead to disappointments, which also separate you from love and joy. Your fear, neediness, and shame create the illusion of separation. If you desire love and joy, refrain from being too needy. Face the fears of your pain. Reconcile your unworthiness and come to know your true and higher self. Those were the words from Yeshua. So from that, I'd like to offer my own thoughts and commentary on this concept of love and joy. We often have many thoughts a day. Depending on where you read, we have anywhere from 40, some say 60, some even say 90,000 thoughts a day. And they say roughly 70% of those thoughts are what I would call stinking thinking. They're often negative and self-defeating. And many of our thoughts are coming from a conscious level, but they're especially coming from more of an unconscious level. And to realize that your thoughts will lead you to your beliefs, which will lead you to your speech or your statements. And those statements then will lead you to your choices and ultimately your behaviors or actions. And all this then will lead to your experience and outcomes in life. And we often say negative statements that diminish our joy and self-confidence. I can't do it. It won't work. We often say the word but behind a positive and forward statement. And then we say the word but, and that will cancel out that first statement that was empowering and more of a can do. So it's important to listen and pay attention to the thoughts and the speech or the statements behind those thoughts and those beliefs within it all. The late David Hawkins, who was an author and philosopher, a number of years ago, he developed through muscle testing, he calibrated the different feelings and emotions, everything from anger, shame, to acceptance and courage and love, joy, and ultimately enlightenment. And in his map of consciousness, apparently joy is a higher calibration of energy than love. He calibrated joy at 550, 540. And he calibrated love at 500. So joy is slightly more of a powerful energy and vibration than love. And I believe that when we experience love, joy is there, as Yeshua kind of highlighted. And when we experience joy, we will know love as well. They kind of are very interchangeable. One will often lead to the other. One key to obtaining higher consciousness and that personal inner freedom is when we can come to our true and authentic selves. And this freedom also comes to that unconditional love and acceptance of ourselves. And that is probably one of the biggest barriers to joy, is the fact that many people don't feel worthy. The very thing they want, which is love and connection and joy, is the very thing we often deny and resist. And much of that is due to programming, especially as young children. And if we don't reconcile that, we carry that belief and that way and that unworthiness pretty much to our entire life. We are free also when we cease judging and pretending. And so that love and joy can naturally be experienced when we feel that inner peace and inner freedom within. I believe the nature of love and joy is seeing life with innocent and childlike eyes. When Yeshua said, if you want to enter the kingdom, be as a child, he was referencing the innocence of a child. And so the more we can live in that innocence and have those childlike eyes and wonder and have an open heart and a quiet yet expanded mind, joy will be there. Love will be there. And when we're in joy, it seems to amplify the energy of love. It builds it up. And to freely extend love to yourself or another is one of the fundamental ways to experience joy. The nature of love and joy is our true nature. It's who we really are. And the path to this joy is also to have wonder, to use our imagination, and to offer gratitude. And these qualities allow for our higher, wiser perception to flow, and it begins to override and overcome the fear and the self-doubt. And we begin to focus more on the process of life, not just the outcome. I believe the ego is all about the outcome, where the soul is much more about the process. And when we can more fully focus on our process, we come to realize that the outcome will take care of itself. And it's within that sense of wonder and imagination and offering gratitude, it helps us focus more on this process of life. And we begin to be more open and curious to the possibilities and the potentiality of our life. And these qualities allow us to begin to say yes more to life rather than no. To be open more to life and accepting more of life rather than to be afraid or resist life. And when we are saying yes, we're often saying love. But yet there are times when we do say no, as in a boundary. And boundaries are another way of saying yes to ourselves and to love. And so within the qualities of the wonder and the imagination and the gratitude, we begin to be more curious and receptive and inquisitive with how our life will play out. And rather than try to control our life, we more fully will just allow life to unfold within us and around us. Like many aspects of life, there is this paradox of love and joy. So the paradox of joy is sorrow. And I've come to appreciate that the more we discover our joy, the more we will recognize our sorrow and the parts of ourselves that hold us back from love and joy and true freedom. Let me repeat that. The more you go after your joy, and the more you begin to experience joy, the more you will begin to recognize the parts that hold the sorrow, the unworthiness. And those are the parts that hold you back from that love and joy and true freedom. Joy is the result of seeing ourselves and our experiences from that higher, wiser self and perspective. And to realize that life isn't really happening to me, it's happening for me, and more importantly, through me. Because I am the creator of my own life. And this understanding involves the acceptance of what is. Because acceptance is a forward-moving energy. When I begin to accept, I begin to override and overcome. You've all heard the phrase, what we resist will persist. And to me, if you want to experience joy, come to a place of accepting what's been very difficult for you. And you'll notice incredible movement towards being more compassionate towards yourself and someone else. And that will naturally lead you to that sense of wanting to forgive yourself or someone else. And when we forgive, that also brings us to that freedom. And joy in time will naturally follow. So avoiding the pain, the struggles, just keeps us further from that love and joy. And to truly love the self is to reconcile our wounded self. It's an inside job, folks. No one can do it for us. People can support, encourage, but the reconciliation of the wounded self and coming back to that place of remembrance of the love and the innocence and the goodness I am is an inside job. And the reward of reconciling the wounded self is the joy that comes. The increase in the frequency and the vibration of the human energy system. The soul knows the abundance of the universe. And our soul invites us to rediscover that abundance, primarily by living in and through and by our hearts. Being in the heart center offers the opportunity to more fully embrace and overcome the resistance and the limiting beliefs that make up that self-created story, which limits our joy. And so joy naturally will arise when we're more heart-centered and we offer that heartfelt words of praise and gratitude to ourselves and to others. And joy resides in the infinite. It's always there. And it also resides in the simplistic. There's joy in knowing that the light and the fullness of always surrounds the darkness and the emptiness. Just like the light of a candle flame surrounds the darkness that's just above the wick. Joy comes by opening to the experiences and the lessons of the soul and moving through the lessons with love and grace. And as we do that, we begin to transform the darkness, what we've made dark, into what wants to be light. And the answers come from our struggles. And when we're ready and willing, that joy will once again replace the sorrow. Can you allow for joy to be in your life? Can you feel worthy and deserving of joy in your life? Many people today, it's rather fascinating. They see somebody smiling, enjoying life, and they think something is wrong with them. They think they have a problem that they're so happy and content and joyful. And they can't understand how that could be. And it's a simple choice that we make moment by moment, day by day. So can you be open and receptive to experiencing joy? As Therese mentioned with some examples, can we embrace the joy and the beauty of a sunrise or a sunset? And when you witness a sunrise or a sunset, I suggest to you to chant the word Hu, H-U. It's an ancient word. And the word Hu is the love call to God. And so to chant it as the sun rises and as the sun is setting fills your heart and your entire being with much praise and joy and gratitude and wonder for the mystery and the power and the energy of the sun and all it gives to Mother Earth. The word hue, you just chant it as the sun rises or sets. Can you notice the joy of a gentle snowfall like we had today? Think of how many times have you walked after a snowfall the next morning or afternoon, you walk the streets or through the woods after a snowfall and enjoy the beauty of the winter season. Can you see the joy and the power of a beautiful and majestic mountain range? Can you allow for joy to be with you as you walk in the woods during any time of the year? Can you see the joy of children as they're playing and embrace that joy? And can you notice the joy as a dog comes to greet you at the door with that happiness and pleasure to see you once again? And can you have the joy when you see somebody smiling at you for no particular reason? They just smile. And can you offer that smile in return? For when you smile, you only use 24 muscles just in your face. When you frown, you use at least 62 muscles in your face. And so it takes a lot more energy and work to be miserable than it does to be joyful. Can you listen to an uplifting song and allow that joy to be with you during that song? And think of how many times you might dance to your favorite song, either alone or with someone, and the joy that happens as you're dancing to that music. Can you not take yourself so seriously? Can you lighten up on yourself? Can you ease up on your mistakes and your wrong turns and just realize there are no mistakes? They're just opportunities for learning and growing and being a little more gentle and loving to yourself. Do you know why angels can fly? They take themselves lightly. So think of ways that you can cultivate that joy in your life. This season that we're now in, that we name Christmas, can you not get so caught up in the retail, trying to find the perfect gift for whoever, and just be love, just be in joy and wonder of the true purpose of this holiday season. I'd like to end with this quote of mine. The joy of love lies in the emptiness, the neutrality of the mind, and the openness of the heart. Amen.
Mean. Love and joy come to you, and even on Christmas too, is some of the lyrics as we're entering into the sacred time of the year. And thank you, David. That was powerful. Many things that come to mind. I guess we all, to a certain degree, have our own critics, and a lot of times you get the criticisms of the things of the past that you just mentioned about being light on yourself and letting go. When that is repetitive criticism from others, what is a good way to block that out?
Um,
Like the old habit trail, round and round.
Now, if you can realize that criticism, both internal or external, they are just opinions. And an opinion is just someone's viewpoint. It is not a fact. And the key is to not give the power, your own inner power, away to that particular criticism or opinion. And if you can imagine you have your hand out here and you are stopping that energy of those words out here. Because once you let it go in here, you're screwed. And that is your choice. You can't control what they're going to say and all that, but you can decide whether you keep it out here or whether you allow it in. Our ego, as insane as it is, it wants to take it because it's constantly looking for the evidence to prove how unworthy and messed up we are or whatever. Your soul is like, no, keep it out there. And the other thing to realize is all, and of course, in Miracles and other texts will illustrate this, all judgment towards you is self-judgment. So as they're judging you, it's not really showing you how much they don't care or love or don't love you. It's showing you how much they don't care or love themselves. And in this world today, more than ever, we're seeing in various ways, I've come to appreciate we hurt others because we are hurting. And when we don't reconcile on our own hurts, we're going to project it onto somebody or something.
Right.
That's called a mass shooting. Mm-hmm. And anything, and it's just showing you that how much they don't love themselves. Right. And they have to dump it on you. You don't have to own that. Okay.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's kind of like looking at yourself in the mirror, but also putting to do your own inner work.
Yeah.
Also put it off in the distance.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Take yourself out of that equation. Just put that energy away off and let it go into the sun, like some meditations that we've had here at the cap. So,
kind of like Taekwondo, you know how they
release it.
They let the energy go. They go with the energy rather than resisting it. That way there's not the impact and so much. So they're not using force. They're just using their inner power and, letting that energy go without really impacting them. And because it's so difficult for it, whenever I hear people say it's hard, that's a soul issue. That's what you're here to learn. That's why it's so hard. And that's why you keep having the experience, because the soul wants you to get it. If that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
Any other questions for David? Comments? Thoughts? We can open up to the whole group and feel free to ask away.
I just
Thank
want to
you
say
very much.
Oh,
Go ahead, Pete.
Go ahead.
I was just going to thank David. It was beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Inspirational.
Thank you. I have Yeshua to thank much of that for. Yes. Yes.
And I like how you caught my whoops, Michael. You see this spotlight? I thought when I hit this button, I was changing the spotlight of my background and not the fact that my husband was the spotlight speaker. So I took him off and somebody popped him right back on. And that cracked me up because spotlight, two different things. So sorry about that. Knocked you out of there for a while.
Only for a few seconds.
Yeah.
That's an example of not taking yourself too personally or too seriously. Yeah.
I'm always trying to learn these technical things to make pretty backgrounds like yours.
Hey, David, this is Pete. I think it was really cool in what you said, man. It's great. And you, Teresa, I mean, It's just joy is such a big thing, man. People are so down and out, or down the mouth, and look at the snow. It's the snow on the side. Oh, it's terrible. Hey, man, enjoy it, man. Enjoy life. Why not? Come on, man.
Right.
So it's a choice, like you said, it's a choice. So
And
thank you.
yeah, and it's not to say that every day is going to be, a joy ride, if you will.
Right.
It is important to feel the grief and the pain and the frustration, the anger. It's okay. Feeling bad doesn't mean I am bad. It's just a feeling. But in that, how long do I want to hang on to that particular, the resentment, the grievance, or the bitterness, or whatever? And that is our personal choice in terms of how long we hang on to stuff. So, yeah.
And boy, did we get that this weekend when we were with the 4 grandchildren, ages 1 to 7. And those little temper tantrums. It's so cute how quickly they move through them. And it gives you an idea of, express yourself. And then we're done.
Yeah.
Be mad and move. It's kind of fun.
David, I have 2 friends can you hear me?
A little louder, please, Catherine. Yeah.
Let me see if I can turn it up.
Or if you could just put your head more up to the screen, that might help.
Okay, can you hear me better?
That's a little better. Yep.
Okay, I have 2 friends that I usually be around, and they seldom give me compliments and never say anything positive about me. And I know that we should rely on ourselves and not seek others for fulfillment, but I kind of miss that. I don't know. It's making me want to get new friends, that's what's going on now.
It is okay to get new friends if others are being too negative or taking you down.
Yeah.
And that, part of it is you might just be in a different place than they are, and it's time for you to move on.
Right.
And of course, they won't understand that. They don't really see how their negativity is taking you down because they're so used to it. It's a habit in a lot of ways for them.
I think I've outgrown them.
Yeah.
And,
Perfect.
And that's usually when you've learned the soul lesson is what you just said. When I outgrow them and I realize that certain people in my life, I really don't need them so much, that's an indication that you've learned the lesson between you and them.
thank
Okay?
you. Okay.
And so, yes, applaud that for yourself, affirm that. And yes, out of love, especially self-love, step away from what no longer serves you. And you can still love them from the energetic highway.
Thank you.
For what
Okay?
they taught you, too.
Yeah.
That you have a snuff. And I'll tell you, Catherine, I have just done that recently of a friend for many years, because if I didn't look so good, she would look better. And after a while, I realized this doesn't work for me anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, Teresa.
And as you give out more compliments, I mean, I compliment people all day long, painted nails, hair, and there's joy in giving that joy. And then
That's right.
it naturally reflects to you.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So find your different tribe.
Okay.
It's time. And you deserve that.
Thank you. Another point I wanted to make when you were talking, I really appreciate both of you, but I realized just recently that when I pray to God, I say, give me, I need, I want, instead of saying, thank you, God. Just something so simple,
Yeah. And you're not alone in that dynamic. When you say, I need or whatever, you're communicating not just to God or the universe, but more importantly to yourself that you're in lack or need.
Right.
And yes, you want to turn that around to pray as if it's already happened.
Right.
You're lacking, it's already manifest, it's already there. You're really not lacking. And so yes, you pray for the gratitude that I'm happy, I'm content, I have a roof over my head, I have this, I have that.
Right.
And so you pray as if it's already happened.
Right.
And you give gratitude and appreciation and such.
I'm so grateful that I have a house that, I don't use an outhouse. I don't cook on a wood stove. All of those, I buy
Yeah.
a stove, but I mean, I always gratitude of
Right.
And the more,
it's good.
like I said with joy, it's not just the big things. It's not just the infinite. It's those simple things. So to have great gratitude for the simple things in your life,
Right.
as well as the big enchiladas, so to speak.
Right.
And that's part of what we're challenged with more now than ever is simplifying our life, because things have gotten so complicated and difficult and fast paced and such that the more you can begin to simplify things, the less stress and headaches and aggravations and such I believe you would have, and naturally that there would be more opportunity for joy to be there because you're not so distracted and preoccupied with trying to make so much happen, if that makes sense.
It does.
Hey, Catherine, you're a beautiful
Yes.
person, person. You're beautiful, man.
Thank you, P.
When you
Thank
smile,
you.
my friend, that brings joy to me. You have a beautiful smile.
Thank you.
See, and that's something very simple.
That's 23 muscles, wasn't
I think 23 muscles. Yep.
it? With a
20,
smile?
24 muscles, but
24.
yeah,
So it's-
24,
yeah,
yeah. 64 with a frown.
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And one of the pictures of the granddaughters that was having a fit today in her high chair, she had a frown like no other. This one was, and she had her arms folded like, oh, if looks could kill.
She was just practicing. She's a year old. She's practicing. I've seen my brothers and sisters do it. Let's see if this works. It's cute. So you just laugh. Yeah. If someone looks sad, you can just think of them as a 2-year-old pouting, and hey, they'll get over it.
So LJ, were you gonna say something?
No, well, actually, I just responded to Catherine a little while. I said, Dave and I volunteered to be her new tribe. So, and this is the
Okay.
tribe right here.
Me too.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's when she started smiling.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to give you all an assignment if you're willing,
Okay.
All
and
right.
if possible,
Go
if you could do it before you go to bed tonight, but that's not in stone. So, but I'll put it to you this way: within the next 24 hours, if you YouTube tribute to George Harrison, okay, and Billy Preston. They did a tribute to George Harrison where Billy Preston, Eric Clapton, Harrison's son, Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, a whole host of people in the music industry came together to do a tribute to George Harrison after he passed. And Billy Preston, along with Eric Clapton and the band, they do a wonderful version of My Sweet Lord. And so you just YouTube Billy Preston tribute to George, My Sweet Lord. It's about a 5-minute video, and I'd like you to just sing. You got the words to it. Just sing along, dance, and just feel the joy in that experience. If you want to.
Do it in the chat.
Oh, thanks, Alan.
Beautiful! Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
What a gift! What a gift you have, Alan. I'm so grateful for that.
Instantaneous. Thank you.